Hey everybody, we have a brand new lesson for you today, and I got to tell you, this one is one that I almost forgot about because it's such a subtle lesson, but yet it was one of the most important things that we did in the community. And for those who are new, community is an underground pickup group here in San Diego where we wouldn't pick up girls. That's not what we did, but we actually learned how to get the most attractive, beautiful, high value women to actually pick us up. It's really hard to get rejected when somebody's picking you up and not the other way around. What we're going to talk about today is preparation. When we would go out, we wouldn't just meet on the street and go out. We actually had a very specific process to it. So we would meet at my friend Diesel's house. He lived downtown San Diego, and he actually nicknamed his place PGL, which was short for Project Gas Lamp. And we would meet together. And really the point of it wasn't just to hang out. Again, we were very strategic about things. It was designed to set our state. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. One of the keys to being really successful in doing what we're talking about, you have to prepare ahead of time and you have to set your state. And what we mean by that, when I say a state basically is kind of an overview of where your mind is. No matter what you do, if you're playing a sport, if you're in school, anything where you're at, your state is going to dictate how well you do. So for example, if you're in school and you're about to take a test, some people have no problem taking tests. Some people freak out when they take a test. And so that's a major difference. If you're calm and relaxed and in a good spot, you're going to do better on the test. Whereas if you're panicking, it's really hard to collect your thoughts and think strategically through and do well on that same test. The same two people that have the same degree of intelligence, that study the same amount of time, this is going to be a big difference in the outcome of that test. In sports, it's the same thing. If I'm sitting here at a point where I've played baseball, where I've been on a massive hitting streak, I've also been in a massive slump. And I remember when I was in a massive slump, I started the season off, I think it was 0 for 11 or 0 for 21. It was just a lot. I probably forgot on purpose, but you go up to the plate and you initially are thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get a hit. It just seems like no matter what's thrown, where it's thrown, what you do, you're always going to get out one way or another. Whereas the other time, I'm on a huge hitting streak. I'm just killing everything. And it really doesn't matter what they throw because I know I can hit it. Now, nothing changed. I mean, realistically, I can tell you for a fact, nothing changed except for my mindset. Now, when we would meet at PGL to set our state, really, the way it was designed was to make sure that we're managing our mindset. Now, in a previous lesson, we talked about the inner game formula. And you can go back and watch that video, and we're going to go to a lot deeper dive in that video. But as a summary, it's kind of like a financial statement. Your revenues are what you say about yourself, your product, and what you want to tell people. And the expenses are what you don't want to tell people, the fears, the worries, the inferiorities, and the insecurities that you have. The problem is when you're going out into a situation where you don't know what the results are going to be, that is prime hunting ground for expenses, for all these things that sabotage our mindset, our fears, our worries, our inferiorities, and our insecurities. And we start to focus on them. And we go out there to go talk to these amazing women who are very smart, who are incredibly intuitive, and can smell all of these things, these fears, the worries, inferiorities, and insecurities, like a bloodhound. And we go out there, and it doesn't matter what we say or what we do, but man, when we have these things dominating our mindset, nobody's going to be around. Nobody's going to want to be around that, much less the type of girl that we want to spend time with. And in sales, it's no different. When you're going out, whether it's an individual one-on-one sales call, if it's a call on the phone, if it's going and doing a presentation in front of a group, you need to set your state. You need to do something that completely reminds yourself of the value that you have, of that you're coming from a point not trying to sell something, but coming from a point of irreplaceable value. That it really doesn't matter what the person in front of you does, because if they're dumb enough to say no to you, they're going to have a really hard time replicating the type of person you are. And you really get that baked in, where you come in with an approach almost like playing with house money at a casino. Again, it doesn't matter how much money you lose because it wasn't your money to begin with. And it doesn't matter what they do because intuitive, smart people are going to see the high value person that you are, and they're going to want to spend time with you. And if somebody's dumb enough or has been indoctrinated by bad salespeople enough to say no to you, then you know what? I can't work with people that make bad decisions like that. And I'm just going to move on. It's not a big deal. You're not putting your heart on the line because you know that something good's going to happen. Again, you're not dealing from a point of scarcity, but rather you're coming from a point of abundance. So all the things that we're learning in these lessons, they are important. But before you go out, before you go and give a sales presentation or make that next phone call or give that presentation in front of a big group, you need to make sure you set your state. It is literally the X factor between having the result you want and easily having it being self-sabotaged. Now, if you've done that before and been there before, great. You're just like me. You're like everybody else. We all have done that. We all have cratered. But the next one out is your next great opportunity to close that sale, to have that great outcome. But you need to set your state. You need to talk up yourself, where you're at, and really be able to set those worries and fears and inferiorities out of your mind. If you're not betting your mortgage payment at the casino, life's going to be good. But if every time you make a sales presentation, it's like you're doubling down and putting the mortgage deed on a roulette wheel, well, yeah, then you kind of have reason to be a little anxious about that. But that's not what sales is. It's about finding that next awesome person who sees what an amazing person you are and wants to tell the world about it. And when you start to do the things that we're talking about in these lessons, that's exactly what sales is. It's the beginning of a viral marketing campaign.